Now, I don't say this often.
I don't say this often.
Now, I don't say this often. He's going to be a wild card in the league. Welcome back to the Wildcards Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, joined here today with my good friends and fellow co-hosts.
Dr. Sykes.
Brandon Hartke.
Usually I say, Brandon or Josh, take me away, or take us away and start the major news. But, this week I'm just going to take the reins. I'm going to lead us off. And, just as I reported last week, Justin Jefferson, I said he was going to get paid within the month. It turns out he got paid within the week. Earlier this week, Justin Jefferson became the highest paid non-quarterback player in NFL history with a massive new contract worth about $140 million. And that's going to be spread out over 4 years. 110 million of that is guaranteed, and 89 mil was guaranteed when he signed the contract a couple of days ago. So 89 mil just hit the bank. What are you guys doing? What's the first purchase?
New car.
I'm probably gonna buy my Amazon cart, like what I got in the cart, and then go to the dealership.
Some poor financial decisions, but when you have 89 mil, it probably doesn't really matter that much. Oh, that being said, 89 mil, you probably got what do you get of that? Probably like 50, 60, maybe. The Minnesota federal taxes.
Minnesota taxes go, but I'm sure it takes out a lot.
Yeah, it's like a decent amount. I think it's like, at least for my paychecks, I know I'm not like in the big leagues, but like 20%, 15% gets taken out, and then
so they get like 20 mil a year from you.
Yeah, they get a lot from me. Maybe more like 100. So they're really pulling away from what I bring in. Anyway, Justin Jefferson, man, highest paid, like I said, highest paid non-quarterback player ever.
Terrible mistake.
What'd you say? Terrible mistake. What are you gonna let him walk?
He's injury prone.
I don't want to hear it, dude. He had 1,000 yards last year with Nick Mullins throwing to him in like 9 games. So
that's a Hall of Fame QB right there. What are we disrespecting Nick Mullins now? Nick
Mullins, when you take away the 3 turnovers that he has every single game, is probably better than Tom Brady all time. Like if you just were to remove the turnovers, he's definitely better than. He just throws the ball. He's a shot chucker. He's like Devin Booker in the NFL. It's something special. But yeah, any comments? But not from Brandon because he's biased.
Yeah, honestly, I would change my answer if I got like 50 million in the bank if I'm Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna take a flight to Atlanta with Kirko Chains.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna have some fun in Atlanta with Kirko.
Hit the clubs.
They're both getting paid now, like big time.
Oh yeah. Both the Viking and former Viking getting in their bag. Do you guys think that's like too much? Try to be as unbiased as you can, Brandon. Too much, just right, or not enough? Well, I mean, it's definitely not enough.
I think it's enough. I definitely don't. I think if they would have paid him any more, it would have messed everything up like Deshaun Watson did. I mean, Justin Jefferson is a great player, and he definitely deserves the money. I mean, I'm not gonna hate on him. I don't know. I think it was the right amount of money. Great player. My bias is about to come out, so I'm just gonna
stop talking.
Maybe a little bit too much guaranteed though.
What do you think, Josh?
I think I knew it would be 35. Like that was the number being thrown around by all the analysts and things like that. So that was the top end in the market that you knew he was going to get 35. Now, if I'm the Vikings, am I upset that he took the highest offer that we gave him? Yeah, because I would think you'd want to win, but I mean, I guess I don't like this narrative now in the NFL and in college even about just trying to get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get you got to take care of your family, but what is the difference between getting, we'll just talk about the guaranteed money. What's the difference between getting $110 million guaranteed and taking $30 million less and getting 80? I mean, you're not going to feel the $30 million, and it's going to help
for a guy like
cap.
And that's just like an insurance, right? The fact that you get it guaranteed, it's nice to get it, because if it's guaranteed, something that, I mean, usually some of that is going into the signing bonus. But at the same time, a guy like Justin Jefferson who's that young, I mean, I know it's insurance that he doesn't have injuries. But let's say he doesn't, he's still going to get the money anyway. So
but if I can't invest $100 million and live off $10 million for a while, and then my $100 million makes $200 million and I'm fine for the rest of my life? Like, what are we doing? Are we not paying
I
a
think
financial advisor?
no. I think. I mean, everyone talks about how some of these NFL guys are so terrible with their money. I think like that's talked about enough now, where like more guys are starting to like figure out what to do.
Right. Yeah.
And also contracts are getting bigger. So because the media rights deals and stuff are getting bigger, so that helps. But at the same time, I think guys are getting a little bit smarter about it. Josh, you want to talk about another extension?
Yeah, another extension that happened were for the
Or I guess new contract.
The runners-up, the Niners, extended, so it says on here, extended Christian McCaffrey for 2 years, $38 million.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
I mean, you got to think, last year the market for running back was like $11 million. Like,
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I'm
besides
saying?
him, he was already
Well,
on
I
a
mean,
pretty
yeah.
good contract.
I'm talking like the free agents and stuff. Like, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league by far. But that's
Not true.
Oh. Who's
who's
better?
up there.
Jameer Gibbs, bro.
This is where you leave the podcast. There's a leave button at the bottom,
Yeah,
Bro,
right?
Jameer Gibbs is
Or at least hit the mic button at the bottom of your screen right there.
Yeah, you can. It says mute under it too.
And
Um,
let's give him 3 years. In 3 years, Jameer Gibbs will be the best running back in the NFL.
You heard it here first.
Oh, jeez.
Brandon's getting
brother.
institutionalized tomorrow.
No. Oh no, Brandon, we're gonna
Brandon's
commit
going to an
you.
institution.
Bro, you have Aaron Jones,
Four
Coleman.
padded walls.
Yeah. Okay, fair. Aaron Jones. Yeah. Have you guys seen his hairline? Like without a helmet on, it's pretty bad.
Where did
Can I
Aaron
make
Jones
those
go to
jokes?
college, Brandon.
Okay. I was about to get it right. Oh, you asked Brandon.
Surprising.
He went to UTEP, bro.
Christian McCaffrey getting paid. Definitely. I mean, I agree. Best player. Sorry, not best player. Best running back in the NFL by a pretty decent margin. I mean, and it shows in the contract. He's the only one actually getting paid. So there's that. Brandon, you want to talk about Corey Linsley?
Yeah, man. So Corey Linsley just got released from the Chargers today. I believe he used to play for the Packers. And he's been battling some injuries, and I don't know if it's announced, but they say he's going to retire. He missed the final 14 games of the 2024 season. And I saw a thing that he has not, during pass attempts, so during like pass rush, he's not given up a sack since 2020. So, I mean, hell of a player. Was really like the leader for that offensive line that couldn't really help Justin Herbert, but definitely will be missed around the NFL and around the Chargers facility.
So the Browns signed Kevin Stefanski and their GM, Rick Barry. Just kidding. I don't know what his first name is, but I know his last name is Barry. To extensions. They're still they were with the Browns, but they're signing to extensions. Obviously they have some roster moves that have been going around. Like they did have, I think, within that same coaching era, I guess we're still in that era, but within that same coaching era, they had guys like OBJ. They had, who else did they have?
Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis
Baker
Landry
Mayfield.
back when he was insane.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Amari
They've had a
Cooper.
lot of guys go through there. Yeah, Amari Cooper. Amari
Jordan
Cooper
Reed.
and a lot of guys. They've also gone and lived in that organization through a logo change, where we unfortunately had to bear witness to what the Browns organization decided they wanted to put as their logo. If you want to get a look at what that is, you can look it up. Browns logo, midfield. That's something I never want to look at again. Hopefully they'll.
The little elf in the middle.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I didn't like that. What did you guys think about it? Did you like it or no?
I don't know. I don't like
It does
the
make
brown
sense,
helmet.
'cause I thought like the Browns were like a dog, and so I did not understand like the elf.
Well,
at all.
I thought that when I was a kid, I thought their whole thing was that like it's a mystery what it was. So, like they're like the only team with something on the side of their helmet. They just had the stripe down the top. I thought there was that was the whole thing. Like Browns, they just didn't have a thing, which I thought was really cool. But then I grew up and I realized.
I don't even get the name Browns though. I guess stupid.
Yeah, I don't know the history, the lore. I should. I'll probably look that up after the podcast. It's probably pretty interesting. Pretty storied franchise, mostly horrible, but storied. But yes, this extended Stefanski. They've been all right. I mean, they're in a tough conference with the Steelers making it every single year. and obviously the Ravens having, an awesome time. Also with the Bengals having some star players, it's tough to make it out of the AFC North, but they have confidence in their guys. Brendan, you want to talk about someone who got a ban from the MLB?
Yeah, so I don't really know how to say his name. I believe it's Tupicha. How do you say it?
Tucupita?
Tucupita
I don't know.
Marcona.
Butchered it. Just like he got butchered from the league.
Yeah, he gets a lifetime ban from the MLB for betting on baseball games. It is said that he placed 387 baseball bets totaling more than $150,000 in October of 2022 and from last July through November with a legal sports book. And he is the first active player in a century banned for life because of gambling. I believe there was a thing that he placed 231 MLB related bets, including 25 bets that were bet on his team, the Pirates, in which
it's 4%. He won 4% of his bets. And like you said, Brandon, he bet $150,000. His career earnings probably would have been like $5 million. I mean, I know he was on like a $700,000 contract for 1 year. So, I mean, $150,000, sorry. Definitely a large part of that $700,000. But at the same time, if you play hard, you work hard, you're going to get another contract, you're going to get another shot. I think it's absolutely ridiculous and just beyond brain dead that you would go and wager $150,000 when you could have had so much more legally. That points to, at least for me, maybe an addiction with gambling. I mean, there's no other reason you do that. I mean, obviously, you're also really just bad at gambling. If you won 4% of your, like, I get trying to make it look like they're not winning your bets, but unless these are like 30-leg parlays, no one should be winning only 4% of their MLB related bets. I know they were parlays, is what was reported to Forbes, I'm pretty sure, but at the same time, he's 24 years old, and not batting well. Maybe he was betting his under. You never know. But yeah, he tore his ACL recently. I remember that. But yeah, it's sad story. I mean, have you guys noticed like the uptick in like reports of players gambling in both the NBA with Jonte Porter, MLB with the whole Shohei interpreter, all this stuff? Have you guys noticed that? Yes or no?
Yeah, I've noticed it. I don't know why there's so many people are betting. It's one thing like the NFL, like Jameson Williams and the other Lions guys, and even Calvin Ridley. Like Calvin Ridley, he did get suspended for a year, but he wasn't playing. He was on IL while he was betting football games, so it's not like he could say like in the game like the outcome. And Jameson Williams and them, they were just betting on college basketball like everyone else does. But I think it's definitely like the Porter guy, like when you're betting like on your under, and like you've seen like the video online where like he makes a three.
Yeah.
He's just like disappointed.
I saw that today. He overshot it and it banked in.
Yeah, and like the other guy, like when you're like betting like on your outcome that like you can like totally control, that just takes away like from the game, because then it's like, or like all the games rigged, where like, you know, most people do believe that some of the games are rigged. It doesn't put on a good showing in the leagues.
For sure. Yeah. What about Garrett Cole, Brandon?
Yeah, but we'll move on to Garrett Cole, the Yankees, one of their starting pitchers. He has maybe 2 more rehab starts before he will finally make it to the rotation. The Yankees are one of the best teams in the MLB right now without their starting pitcher. So when Garrett Cole does come back, the Yankees will just get better. And he hasn't, I believe his first rehab start, he had 45 pitches and he threw 3 1/3 scoreless innings for the Yankees AA team. And it said that he could start again on June 14th and maybe make it back to the MLB during June 18th through the 20th against the Baltimore Orioles.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting news. Josh, you want to talk about Tingus Pingus and the Celtics?
Who? Pingus.
Who the hell is this guy?
Pingus, or some of y'all might know him as Kristaps Porzingis, will be back for Game 1 of the Finals versus the Mavs. This is kind of like a pivotal thing for the Celtics because, like, if they have a chance to win an NBA title, first time in a while. When was the last time they won a title, Coleman? Do you know?
The Celtics?
Yeah.
2008.
Yep. Kevin Garnett. And Paul Pierce. It's been a while. Jason Tatum, 26, no ring, been to the finals once. People are saying this is a make or break one for him, so we'll see how.
No, it's been make or break. It's already broken.
But so Kristaps Porzingis, big time role for the Celtics. Their super team, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, as we mentioned, Jaylen Brown, Pingus. I mean, you got to slow Al Horford. I mean, he'll send Al Horford to the bench. Thank God we don't have to watch him as much. But,
Oh, yeah.
White, bro.
What?
Forgot about
Derek White.
Oh, my bad. I forgot the terrible hairline, Derek White.
What's the other guy's name?
No
Paxson?
hairline.
Yeah, no hairline. But yeah, so Pingus is back, and we'll see how that messes with like the chemistry that the Celtics have built without him. I don't know how that's all going to work out, but we'll see.
Interesting. More news about a European basketball player, soon to be NBA player, Nikola Topic, not to be confused with Nikola Jokic, although Topic is from, I believe it's Serbia, or at least he plays in Serbia. Anyway, Nikola Topic has unfortunately suffered a partially torn ACL in his left knee. He's a projected lottery pick for next year. He's 18 years old. He currently plays in Serbia. He averages 18.4 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds in 1 steal game. He shoots 53% from the field and almost 90% from the free throw line, although he does shoot 26% from 3. He's a 6'6" point guard, very high upside, and he has that size that is needed in the NBA. He plays in the Adriatic League, which I think some pro players have gone through, if I'm not mistaken. He's obviously very young, so how this affects his draft spot might be downplayed a bit, given his age. We've seen in the past players that have gotten injured out of college and they drop quite a bit, but a guy who's only 18 might not be affected as much. Yahoo already moved him from number 4 down to number 11. Obviously, with the lottery being 12 picks, Brandon knows a lot about the lottery with his favorite team just getting absolutely just screwed in it every single year. Might not be able to draft him now. Or they could draft him just, late, betting on the fact that he'll come back, rehabilitate, which I think he will. My personal opinion, I think a guy at 18 tears your ACL in the left leg. I mean, think about Chet Holmgren, right? I know this was after he was drafted, but at the same time, you can see how easy it is for a guy who's huge. He's 7 feet tall. For a guy that tall to come back, just more evidence that you should still trust your guy. If you think that's your guy, you should still go ahead and get him. You might even be able to get him cheaper, as he might fall on some people's draft boards. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely a good get for a lower team like the Pistons. Yeah. I mean, they can't do much wrong.
What?
They can't do much wrong and not much right either. So it's like they're in kind of a limbo state because, like, what if they pick a dude and he's a bust like last year with the Thompson twin?
I'd say I'd say this. Any other team besides Pistons, pick him. It's gonna be like a Chet situation where he comes back and he's just the best player ever. If the Pistons pick him, he's probably gonna be the worst player of all time.
Well, honestly, if the Pistons pick him, he'll probably just play with the torn ACL and be like the second.
Yeah, they'll play him anyway.
Team.
Yeah, they'll play on one leg. Yeah, the Pistons shade is going crazy right now. But yeah, one thing I'm concerned about with I've like been aware of him for a while. I used to go on NBADraft.net and just like scroll in the future, and like I was like excited when they updated with the new class. I remember looking at Wemby. I remember looking at Wemby back in 10th grade during COVID Spanish class. I'd just be scrolling that, checking out the prospects in the future. But one thing that stands out is obviously his 3-point percentage. You can't be a starting point guard in the NBA, a good starting point guard, and shoot 25% from 3. It just doesn't happen. That shot needs to fall. And the fact that he's shooting 53% from the field other places, and 86% from the free throw line proves he's not a bad shooter. I think most of his points do come in the paint, but at the same time, no one shoots that well from the free throw line. Is that bad from three? I guess unless you're what's a good example of this? I mean, Rudy shoots decent. Sure. Rudy Gobert shoots decently from the free throw line. Obviously, doesn't even he shoots like 2 threes a season. But yeah, definitely something to watch if you are watching the NBA draft or you're a fan of a team with a lottery pick. Yeah, or outside of the lottery, because this could mean he falls outside of the lottery. He could go outside of number 12, depending on more news coming out about his diagnosis. So yeah, that is enough about Nikola Josh Topic. Yeah, Josh, do you want to talk about the Stanley Cup?
This Stanley Cup is here, boys. Puck on ice, stick on ice. Gonna play some shell.
All right, cut the accent, bro. This is double.
So the Oilers finished off Dallas, and they won 4-2 the series. The Panthers won their series pretty easily. So the first game, Oilers versus Panthers, is going to be played in Sunrise, Florida. What day is that? I don't recall the exact date right off the top of my head. Huh?
I think the day that it starts.
The day that it starts.
I know it
starts on Saturday. Saturday.
Okay, yeah, Saturday. So Saturday, the Stanley Cup will be in Sunrise, Florida. Yeah, we picked that game later, so you'll get to hear kind of our analysis on that when we pick games. But it's time to watch some Shell, boys. I mean, I've been watching some of the playoff games. You know, maybe not all of them because I have other things I need to do. But I'll definitely be sitting down. I'm still in school, brother. Some of us are still higher education here.
Hey, my fault.
But I'll definitely be watching the Stanley Cup final. You know, I think it's crazy how they have that superstition of they don't want to touch the trophy. That way, it's like a curse or whatever. You know,
I think I've seen that in all sports though. There's no way NBA play. Well, first of all, I don't know if they get access to it, but I don't think anyone on the Mavs, because the Mavs are going to beat the Celtics. Get that in your head. I don't know if anyone on the Mavs is going and touching the Larry O'Brien early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're not avoiding it. Being in
the same room.
Well, I mean, they just don't. I mean, they don't want it close to them. If they touch it, they think it's bad luck. I feel like NBA players touch the Larry O'Brien trophy throughout the year. You can't touch it if you don't win it. You can't touch it. And I've seen some Premier League games. They have the trophy out. They touch the trophy as they're coming out.
Oh yeah, I've seen that as well.
And it's I mean, I feel like hockey's just different in that aspect. I mean, it's not like somebody's not going to touch a Lombardi.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I don't know.
No, yeah. Keep going.
But yeah, so we're all excited for a little bit of more chill. This is the last series of the year, so we're gonna watch it and make it count.
Yes. Thanks for that, Josh.
Any predictions on who's gonna win? I mean, it's not gonna give away our picks or anything, but overall, who do y'all think is gonna win?
I think Florida's gonna win. I don't think McDavid's gonna get his flowers. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Brandon?
I think the Florida Panthers are the better team, but I think that I want the Oilers to win just because of Connor McDavid. I mean, he's already had a great career. Why not add a Stanley Cup trophy to that? But I do think that the Panthers will win.
I do as well. I think the Panthers are going to win. More physical team. You know, Connor McDavid, probably the best player on the ice night in and night out. But I just don't think he has the team around him. It's kind of like
Ant.
No. It's kind of like a LeBron
Jason Tatum
situation. No, Jason Tatum has too much
opposite
help. But yeah, I think the Panthers, more physical team, they're going to outclass them early on in the series, and maybe even dare I say it, a sweep. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they may win a game or two, but the Panthers have the potential to sweep them. That's for sure.
I think so as well. As crazy as it sounds.
Okay.
This might be.
Oh wait, 1 second. Before you do that, I just want to put out in the universe that I went to SEC the meetings on day 3. I was trying to get some people on the podcast. So if you're listening to this now, SEC, don't ban me, please. But I did.
No restraining order.
I did go to the meetings. Nobody was there. It was all administrative on day 3. But if anybody is listening, has any contact to anybody, like coach-wise, that they would like to hear on the podcast, just hit our line, get a hold of us on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, however you want to reach us.
Yes, sir.
Because I think we'd all like to have a guest on eventually. So I think that's where this is heading. So.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we got the Feels Good Story of the Week. Every week we do the Feels Good Story of the Week. And this week we are focusing on Alonzo Mourning, former NBA player, underwent surgery to remove his prostate. And he's now considered cancer-free. So that's awesome news to see from a great NBA player. He's also preaching awareness for men to get screened for cancer. So big ups to Alonzo Mourning. Congratulations on being cancer-free. And yeah, definitely a good thing. Anyone listening who's like of the age, go get screened. It's not cool to not get screened and then find out later you have cancer. That could have been caught earlier for sure. All right, time to move on to our picks of last week. We can review the scores that we had last week out of our 10 games and also review our picks for next week. So starting off, I guess I'll just go over it. Last week, Josh went 7-3. Brandon went the reverse, 3-7, and then I went 5-5. Brandon actually started off
0-7.
0-6, bro.
0-6, sorry. He was on 0-10.
Give him some credit. He was, oh yeah, for sure. We talked about that. He was 0-6. He called me, I think it was Sunday night or maybe Monday before the games. I think it was Monday.
Whenever Justin Jefferson got his signing.
It was Monday. But it was before the games happened. So yeah, he was still 0-6 at that point. We were scared. We were nervous for him. I was praying for him. Just kidding.
I was hoping he would. It'd be funny.
No, yeah, it would definitely be funny. I think it'd actually be hilarious. We actually might title the pod Brandon's demise. Something like that. But yeah, like I said, Brandon clutched up 3 out of the 4 games, and he went 3 for 4 in those. So, and it ended with a score of 3-7. So that brings our running total to Josh at 27-23 for a percentage of 54%. Brandon 26-24 for a percentage of 52%, and I'm also with Josh at 27-23 and for a percentage of 54%. So, who wants to say the games that we have for next week or this week? I guess week 6.
Brandon can start. I'll hop in.
Sounds good.
What day you want to hop in at, Josh?
I'll just hop in the second game on Sunday, so we'll split it half and half.
Okay. All right. So our first game of the week on Friday, we have the Milwaukee Brewers at the Detroit Tigers. Josh and me went with the Brewers here. Coleman went with the Tigers. Coleman, just a little tip. Why'd you go with the Tigers, man? Just give us something here.
I've been picking against Tigers for a long time. I have a good friend who's gonna be my roommate next year. Very good friend. He posts just about every single Tigers. Like when they post on Instagram, like if they won, they don't really post if they lose, or if they do, obviously he doesn't repost it. Big Tigers fan. So one of these days, this past week, I was on my lunch break at work, and I was scrolling through. I was reading up more about my Tigers. Oh, that sounds terrible to say, but yeah, I've been learning more about them, more about their team. I know Matt Vierling's been on an absolute heater. Jake Rogers, catcher, hit 2 homers the other night, and then I know Kerry Carpenter's been playing pretty well, even though he's batting a bit under 300. Got to get that up, buddy. Not going to beat the Twins like that, but I've been reading up more about my Tigers, and I'm feeling optimistic that they're going to take this one against the Brewers.
Okay, thank you for that. And then moving on to our second game on Friday, we have the Minnesota Twins at the Pittsburgh Pirates. We have the Pirates here as they are just been on a tear recently, but we're all just hoping Paul Skeens or Jared Jones pitches, but that's probably not going to happen as they're both have pitched this week against the Dodgers. So maybe the Twins will pull this one out, but we hope not. On Saturday,
who's we?
I mean, you did pick the Pirates, so I don't know.
Well, I did, but I still
it's
hope
a
the Twins
win-win
win.
situation.
It is. Hedging is the best strategy in this type of stuff.
On Saturday, we have Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We have the Edmonton Oilers at the Florida Panthers. We all have the Panthers here winning Game 1. Yeah, there's nothing. I just assume Panthers will go in there and really set the tone at home. And our second game on Saturday, we have the Oilers. No,
Orioles.
We have the Orioles.
Come on, man.
My fault. For the second game on Saturday, we have the Orioles at the Tampa Bay Rays. We all have the Orioles here. Better team. They've been hitting really good. They got Adley Rutschman, MVP candidate Gunnar Henderson.
Jackson Holiday. Oh,
Jackson
never
Holiday
mind.
is in AAA because he cannot hit in the major league somehow.
Right. He's a bum. He actually is a bust in my opinion already. But yeah, he's still. I thought he was the MVP candidate. That's my bad. Just kidding.
No, but
Just kidding. Just kidding.
moving on to Sunday, we have Game 2 of the Mavs at Celtics. So we don't know who wins Game 1 because that game is on Thursday, and we record these on Wednesday, so we don't know. But Josh is going with the Mavs here, and me and Coleman are both going with the Celtics. Josh, why do you believe that the Mavs will win this one?
Well, really, it's more like I believe the Mavs are going to win one of the first two games at Boston, in the Garden. But I think the first game, I think Boston kind of pulls it out at the end. I think it's a really close game. So I think that pushes. I mean then Dallas will figure some stuff out and then come back and win Game 2. It's a more of a belief that if they win Game 1, they will lose Game 2. But like if they don't win Game 1, they're going to win Game 2. They have to win one of the two. That's my opinion. I mean, they may win both. Coleman said something about them winning them both. So
okay, well, yeah, I agree. Okay, here's my first of all, just we can talk about it now. I think that the Mavs will win this series. I don't think that they match up like as well in some areas. I mean, Luka is obviously a mismatch, whoever he plays. And I think Derek Lively can hang with their centers. But at the same time, the Celtics have depth. They are a super team. I don't care what you say. They're a super team. And yeah, I don't see anything else happening but a Mavs victory because Luka is just in his bag right now. And I think, as everyone says, in these type of games, as you go down to the end of the playoffs, especially in the finals, the team with the best player will win. And we've seen that in the past, and we're going to see it this time. And that's Luka Doncic. Jason Tatum is not better than Luka Doncic. And if you say you're wrong.
So why didn't Minnesota Timberwolves win? I thought Ant was better than Luka.
Luka was at least 4 times better than Ant in that series.
I mean, also Ant wasn't guarded by like Rudy Gobert. So like, yeah.
Right. Yeah, just absolute break. I don't know if we talked about it last pod. I don't think we did because the game happened right after. But yeah, absolute breakdown in that final game. I don't really want to talk about it. But yeah, Timberwolves season's over, obviously. Finals is Mavs, Celtics. And the funniest thing about that, really quick, is that out of the games that the Timberwolves played, Nuggets, Suns, and wait, is that it? Yeah, Nuggets and Suns. But I found out, or when I finally realized after Game 7 against the Nuggets that it would be the Mavs, I was less worried about that series than I was the previous 2 series. I thought the Suns were going to sweep us, or maybe gentlemen sweep us 4-1. I thought the Nuggets, if we somehow managed to get past the Suns, it'd be over in 4 games. Yeah, I thought it was 4 games. Well, this was all before the playoffs started, right? And then we swept the Suns, and I'm like, wait, we have a chance. But I still thought the Mavs would be an easier series than both those two. Maybe not the Suns. But yeah, I really had hope. I mean, and that's sometimes like you have those thoughts, like maybe it's because I was so confident. And obviously, I have nothing to do with how the team did. It's just like, man, we really could have had that. It's the Mavs, dude. Like the Mavs on paper should not be as good as the Timberwolves. We match up better, but no, we didn't play as good. Obviously, and Ant forgot how to play basketball. Naz Reid had an insane game where he hit like 8 of 9 threes and we still lost. I mean, I don't know. It's just an embarrassing performance, but at least we got there, man. That's all you can say. In some people's list, like Reggie Miller, didn't even have us in like the top 20 NBA teams this season on his list. So some people counted us out, man, and we made it. We're a top 3 team in this NBA season. So that's all I want to say.
All right. After all that, we're going to move on to Game 2 on Sunday. Mariners at Royals. We all picked the Royals here. I just don't think the Mariners are that great of a baseball team. Royals are definitely better on paper. Moving on to Monday's games. Game 2, Oilers at Panthers. This will be the second game of the Stanley Cup.
Why do you do that? Accent is just awful. It's supposed to be like some Canadian.
I'm just trying to make it sound different. And then me and Coleman go Panthers. So we think they're going to go 2 up in the series. Brandon goes Oilers. He thinks that his boy can get him a game. Brandon, what do you think? Why do you think Game 2 is going to be the game the Oilers steal from the Panthers?
I think, like what you were saying about the Mavs Celtics, I believe that the Oilers, they have to win one. You can't go down 2-0 and then expect to win both at home. So I believe that the Panthers will set the tone in Game 1, but the Oilers, they will take that break on Sunday and watch the film realize what they have to do to beat the Florida Panthers. I believe that they will succeed on Saturday or Monday.
Brandon, what will the Red Wings be doing during this time?
Probably skating, learning, how to play hockey again.
How to put on their skates?
Do
How to tie
NHL
'em?
players, do they go to Cancun? I don't know where
No,
they
their contracts aren't big enough for that. They're staying at home. They're budgeting.
All right, moving on to the second game on Monday. Yankees at Royals. Me and Brandon, obviously no ball. We go Yankees. Coleman picks the Royals. Coleman, do you have any explanation on why you picked the Royals?
They're at home. The
The
Royal.
long flight. My bad.
No. It's not about that. It's well, yeah, it is about that. But it's I'm kidding. At the same time, the Royals have been just as good of a baseball team as the Yankees this far in a division that they thought was terrible, but is actually the best division in baseball. So they've been a almost as good of a team in a better division. And besides that, that's kind of just an overarching thing. I think that I looked at the pitching matchup. I think it's obviously to have Garrett Cole out of the still injured. Last time I checked, I think it's Rodon pitching against Lugo. I like Rodon personally. I like the way he plays, like the way he pitches. But at the same time, Lugo's playing better this season. It's just that as simple as that. Lower ERA, better win-loss, just overall.
All right.
All that stuff. Yeah.
All right. So
You told me to stop
then-
yapping?
No, I mean, I thought you were done, so I was going to
Gotcha.
cut you off a little early. So moving on to Tuesday's games. This is the end of the week for us. Braves at Orioles. We all go Orioles. Hot bats right now up there in Baltimore. Really hot bats. And of course the flight from Atlanta to Baltimore. Two big airports, hard to navigate that. The Braves are
Right.
going to
A lot of terminals.
A lot of terminals, a lot of people,
Well, Josh,
and
how would
then-
you know? You've never been on a plane.
Well, I mean, I've been to an airport though.
Okay. He's never been on a plane in his entire
I've
life.
never been on a plane.
He's scared that the Boeing's just gonna fall apart midair, which I don't blame him.
Hey,
Well, no, he only wants to fly private. I get it. He doesn't
Right.
want to.
yeah, I don't want my first experience to be with like some poor person sitting beside of me.
Oh
like,
yeah,
a
those
coffin.
poor. Even in business, like first class, like they're still too poor. You have to be on
Yeah,
charter.
like-
private.
Like, why are you paying $10,000 for a first class flight when you can just pay $30 for a private jet? Like,
Exactly, just 30 bands.
and here
Right.
goes Brandon turning off his camera. What are we doing here?
Turning it on and off.
Anyway, so moving on, and I know people in the comments or people that listen to this are like, "Oh my gosh, Joshua picked against the Braves." It has to happen, Ronald Acuna Jr. I think that his spot hasn't been filled just yet. They're trying to find somebody to fill that spot. Obviously, not gonna find anybody as well as Ronald, but like, they got to find a good replacement. I don't think they've found the rotation just yet, so they're still working on that. I believe in the Braves, but the Orioles are gonna win this one. Then Tuesday, we got the Hundo Boys and the Pirates at the Cardinals. I'm the only one that picked the Hundo Boys. No faith. The other two picked the Cardinals. Brandon and Coleman picked the Cardinals. Pirates have been a hot streak here, and I think they continue against the Cardinals. Cardinals, not very good. That's all I got to say about that. That's going to wrap up for the week for us. Hopefully we'll be back next week. Not going to miss a week here, hopefully. Cross our fingers.
We will.
Coleman, you want to take us out?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, as Josh said, hopefully we don't miss a week. We never do. I don't think we've ever done it in the history of the podcast since February of 2023. But yeah, that'll do it for this podcast. Thank you everyone for listening to the entire edition of this Wildcards podcast, the 37th podcast. Bad, excluding the trailer. But yeah, with that, I want to thank everyone for listening. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, that's bye from me. I was Coleman Madlin, joined today with
Your favorite, Joshua Sykes.
And your third favorite, Brandon Hartke.
it's the first favorite, realistically. All right, peace, guys.
Peace.